Okay, friends, we have waited. Huh? It took too much time to come walk down the distance from civil to computer science. 15 minutes. Okay, so we were here last time. I think I explained to you the plane problem of elasticity, that is plane stress and generalized plane strain. Generalized plane strain, we got it, that is when we have when we have presence of both epsilon z and sigma z in the third direction, in the direction perpendicular to xy plane in which we are considering the problem to be plane. When both are present, then we call it generalized plane strain. It should be clear. When only sigma z is present, epsilon z is 0, then we call it plane strain. So, it is a plane strain, generalized plane strain, and all the three types can be dealt with in a similar fashion. And the simplest way to discretize any two-dimensional area is two dimension. So, anyway, area, it is not volume is three dimension. So, any area is the simplest way you can fill in with two-dimensional triangular element. So, you cannot have simpler than three noded elements. So, we have drawn 1, 2, 3, 3 noded, and nodes are numbered in anti-clockwise, and each node is having displacements, two displacements, because now there is displacement in x as well as in y direction. Each point displaces in some general direction in xy plane. So, we can take components in x and y. So, there are 6 degrees of freedom, that is what I have written. So, we can express now. So, first problem is how to express the general displacement within the element 1, 2, 3 in terms of nodal displacement. The point P has coordinate x y, any general point inside has coordinate x y, and the displacement of point P is u and v. Okay. So, everything is clear. Now, how can we express the u of point P, which is a function of, and v of point P, u and v both are. So, discretization enters here itself. Now, we are expressing this in terms of only three nodal quantities. So, let us say that we saw the other day, simple, that is it has to be a two-dimensional function. How do you generate two-dimensional function? One dimension polynomial we saw, first term is a to the power of 0, x to the power of 0 means constant, then linear x, then x square, x cube, things like that. In two dimension, how does this? So, in two dimension, how do you create a polynomial? So, the first one is always constant, then you will have in x direction x, in y we will have y, then next term in x is x square, next term in x is y, in y direction is y square. But there is also a product term that exists between, that is x and y, because quadratic, x square, x y also is a quadratic term, y square. So, all these three will have to be considered if you want to consider quadratic term in two dimension. In linear, only x here and y here, this is a constant. Then you come to cube, x cube, next term in y is y cube, and then here cube. How do you get cubic in x and y? What are the other products? It is x square y and x y square. X square y square does not exist, because x square y square means fourth degree, x square y. So, I want only cube. So, that means I have taken care of all the third degree, all these. So, if you want to have a polynomial, if you want to have a polynomial up to the third degree, then you must consider, please do not make noise, sit quietly. So, this is it clear? Then the next term will be fourth degree, x 4, y fourth. What else? X cube y, fourth degree. The next one, x square y square, x y cube, and then y 4. So, a fourth degree quartic polynomial in 2 dimension will have x 4, x cube y, x square y square, x y cube y 4. So, like this we can go on creating this. Is it clear? This one is, we can go on, see these radial lines start like this. One is from here, next one is from x y, next one is from x square y square. So, like this radial line will go on till. So, I have drawn up to all the terms in a 2 dimensional polynomial up to fourth degree are all there. So, we are including only linear 3 noded 1, 2, 3. So, constant x and y. So, that will be, let us call this as a 1, a 2 x and a 3 y. U displacement varies in x y like this linearly. I think the other day also I saw you, that is this function, a 3 noded plane. I think that day I also explained to you. So, variation is a linear plane, it is a plane, inclined plane with there is no cubic or quadratic term, it is all linear. So, it will be having. Similarly, V can be expressed as a 4 some other constant, a 5 x plus a 6 y. So, U and V can be expressed by these expansions linear. So, this is the simplest element, 2 dimensional element. It is also called simplexed element, simplex. There will be some book, simplexed element, simplex. So, this is one of the simplexed elements, simplex, simple elements. And this was the first element that was described by the inventors of finite element. Okay. Now, if it is so, but our approach has always been to express this, displacement fields as by Ritz method, that is Ni ui. I think we did it also for a linear rod element. We started with a plus bx, but then we found out the value of a and b in terms of u1, u2 and x, then substituted it back, and then we wrote 1 minus x by L into u1 plus x by L u2. So, similar thing can be done here also. We can put the boundary conditions, we can put node number 1, that means u1, when u1 has coordinates x1 y1, u2 I mean 2 has coordinates x2 y2. So, substitute the values of these 3 coordinates x3 y3 in 2 dimension. These 3 points have got 3 nodes have got, sorry, this has gone out of field. So, this one is if node 1, node 2, node 3 have got now these 3 coordinates x1 y1, x2 y2, x3 y3. So, we just substitute. So, you will get u1 will be equal to a1 plus a2 x1 plus a3 y1. Node number 1, we are substituting for node number 1. V1 will be equal to A4 plus A5 x1 plus A6 y1. In fact, both the patterns will be same for U1 and V1 patterns will be same. So, we can also always substitute this. Similarly, for node 2, so this is for node 1, node 2 will be U2 will be equal to A1 plus A2 x2 plus A3 y2, V2 will be equal to A4 plus A5 x2 plus A6 y2, and third node U3 will be equal to A1 plus A2 x3 plus A3 y3, and V3 will be equal to A4 plus A5 x3 plus A6. See, the variation of U and V are similar. So, this can be written down. So, I can I can explain this with reference to U1, U2, U3, and similar thing will happen to V1, V2, V3 also, except that the constants are different arbitrary constant, but otherwise everything else is same. So, I can write. So, this is the usual method, this is the usual the way we derive your shape functions. So, how we are trying to derive now our shape functions, because we want to write down in a form Ni Ui. So, U1 is A1 plus A2 x1 plus A3 y1, U2 equal to A1 plus A2 x2 plus A3 y2, and U3 equal to A1 A2 x3 plus A3. So, there are 3 equations and there are 3 arbitrary constants A1, A2, A3, those can be found out. So, we have on the left hand side a vector of nodal displacement U1, U2, U3 in x direction displacement. Then this matrix is there, which is 1 x1 y1, 1 x2 y2, 1 x3 y3. See, there is nothing in the derivation if you follow it systematically, multiplied by A1, A2, A3. So, this one is your arbitrary constants which needs to be found out, and therefore, we can get this A1, A2, A3 by inversion of this matrix, and that matrix is multiplied by and similar operations will have to be done for V also. So, we can get these constants 3 constants in terms of U1, U2, U3, which are my nodal displacements and nodal coordinates x1, y1. So, what you do? You substitute. So, if you call this matrix as A matrix, you call this one as A area. Yes. If you call this as A, times U1, U2, U3. The A inverse, if this is A means A inverse. Change. Okay. Now, A inverse, of course, A inverse is, you do not have to do it, it is only 3 equations in 3 unknowns. You can do it by normal method, but otherwise if you follow inverse method, determinant, then cofactor. So, A inverse comes out to be A inverse, this A inverse is 1 by 2 delta. I will explain what is delta, and then there is a matrix, and that matrix is, first line is y2 y3, sorry, x2 y3 minus x3 y2, y2 minus y3, x3 minus x2, x3 y1 minus x1 y3, y3 minus y1, x1 minus x3, x1 y2 minus x2. This is coming in the display, y1 y2, x2 minus x1. After writing, then I will explain. This is yeah, this is, so A inverse can be found out, and that is what it is, like this. Now, these are not difficult to remember, or of course, you can always compute, and then, but then these coefficients, if you just see it carefully, the first here is x2 y3, 2 3, and then 3 2, between x and y there is a exchange, then this is 2 2 3 y, then 3 2 1. So, it is cyclic, all 1 2 3, see 1 2 and 3, it is cyclic, it will always move only like this. Let us see. So, here it is x3 1, 3 and 1, and 1 and 3, change it. Similarly, it is 3 minus 1, here it was 2 and 3, see 2 and 3, and here it is 3 and 1, then next one will be 1 and 3, sorry, 1 and 2, next one for y. Similarly, here it is 1 2, sorry, here it is 3 2, 3 2, you go always, then it will be 1 3, and then it should be 2 and 1. So, one has to slightly, after little, you can know that yes, whatever you have written is right or not. So, anyway, this can be found out, this is the A inverse, and delta, the value of delta that we have written is half of determinant of A matrix, A matrix which I have defined. By the way, what is A? Determinant of A you should know. What is area of a triangle? Twice, this one is this, if you take determinant of this matrix, it gives you 2 times the area of the triangle, 2 times the area of the triangle. this determinant of this matrix, not inverse, just determinant of this matrix is 2 times the area. So, this is what 2 times the area. So, determinant of this is area, this is area, this is del is area of the triangle, this is area of the triangle, area of the triangle. Now, for numbering A you have to follow, because otherwise if you number it, so if anti-clockwise A will be positive, if you do it clockwise A will be negative. So, that is why it is important to follow a sign convention. So, we always follow one anti-clockwise order 1, 2, 3. So, you cannot change in between any order. So, do not change the order. So, basic thing is that you can find out this and therefore, substitute this the value of A1, A2, A3. Please substitute the values of A1, A2, A3 into your basic definition of the displacement. What is that? Where is the basic definition? Basic definition is here. U equal to A1, A2x plus A3y. Substitute these 3 values here. And then we can write down, so it is quite involved. Then we can write down U in terms of shape function n1 xy, n2 xy, n3 xy, 3 multiplied by u1, u2, u3. Now, it turns out similarly for similarly for V also, no change, no difference between U and V. If you have done it for U, it is same thing will hold good for V also. So, V also you will have the same relationship N1, N2, N3 multiplied by V1, V2, V3. Okay. Now, what are these? After all, you have to do it, you have to do the calculation, I mean all the manipulations. So, you have to do it, there is no shortcut. N, for example, N, N1, N2, N3, I can give all the 3 in one go. This is given by, after you have done everything, you will find that this will be given by 1 x y multiplied by A inverse multiplied by A inverse. It turns out. So, what I am saying that yes, you can always write down this can be expanded. So, shape functions can be written like this. You have got the shape functions, except that it is little tedious, lengthy, but you can always get these shape functions n1, n2, n3 and write it down, and therefore, we can write down our u and v displacement, that means u in our desired form. What is the desired form? We always write down our displacement as See, there is a convention, whenever we go from node to, we write down usually all the degrees of freedom that exist at a node together. So, first we will write down u1 v1 node number 1, u2 v2 node number 2, u3 v3 node number 3. Do not write, there are some books which write u1, u2, u3 first and then v1, v2, v3 next. I do not like it. I think most people do not like it, because you should keep it should write it the complete degrees of freedom for node together. This is node 1, node 2, node 3, because depending upon the way you order this, your shape function matrix also will be ordered. So, here it is okay u1, because u equal to u, this is u equal to n1 un 0 into v1, because v1 will not contribute, then n2 u2 0 into v2, n3 u3 and 0 into v3, and next line will be v1. So, it will be 0 n1 n2 0. So, my n matrix, what I am saying, that is, so this says this matrix is the shape u displacement of point P is expressed in all the degrees of freedom at the node, 3 nodes, and whatever is multiplier is my n matrix. So, this matrix is n, this is approximately, because the moment you write down n, it is not equal to this, there is a approximation signature here. So, u is n is a rectangular matrix, it is not a square matrix, n will generally be a rectangular matrix, and this will be D. Nodal degrees of freedom. So, we have established this ND. But this is a very simple element, and we should see the derivative of n matrix. This n will be what? N will be what kind of functions it will be? Just to, even without going through all this of n, let us look at, because after defining your displacements in different form, I mean we have defined in polynomial form, we have also defined in what? We have also defined it in shape function form. There are two ways, one is Ritz approach, other one is usual polynomial approach. So, we have done this. Incidentally, while giving this diagram tells you that you should include how many, if you want to a quadratic element, then you must include all these terms up to here. Cubic element means you should, in a triangular shape, you should include all these terms. Quartic element means you should include all the terms up to here. Do not neglect any one, any term, complete. So, so far we are only here, simple, simplex, cannot be simpler than this. This diagram was given by a mechanician, Pascal. So, it is called Pascal triangle. So, it helps you, triangle, it helps you to choose proper terms in a 2-dimensional and 3-dimensional polynomial function, so that you do not miss out any term. Otherwise, if you do not show this, you are likely to miss out some term, but this tells you exactly yes. Similarly, in 3rd dimension there will be one more leg z, there will be one more leg here triangular, there will be a tripod, 3 legs, these are the 2 legs, 3rd leg will be z 1, z square, z cube, etc. and so you can write down and then include all the terms. So, this is Pascal triangle. So, Pascal triangle is very important and it helps you. So, after defining, so we have now established our shape function matrix, we have established we know our nodal degree of freedom, we have also checked the order. Then the next step in finite element comes, define your strains. Any elasticity problem, I think if you, the way I have taught you so far is, next one is first displacement, understand displacement field, how does particle P moves within the element, and then find out strain. So, what are the strains? Let us say we are talking of plane stress. I am just telling you, let us take for example plane, because we are talking only of 2 dimension now. I am discussing only 2 dimensions. So, plane stress I am taking. So, plane stress we found out that what are the strains which are present. Epsilon x is du by dx. By the way, what is the value of du by dx? Of course, here it will not be clear. You see, if you find out du by dx from here, it will be du by dx means yes, du by dx, you have to write down. So, it will be derivative of the shape function, but it is not very clear, because each one of these shape functions are linear functions only. But then it becomes very clear when you consider this, the original function. Original function is this, u equal to a1 plus a2 x plus a3 y, 1 2 3 a y. So, du by dx is just a2, because this will be 0, this will be 0. So, just a2, it will be a constant. Du by dx is equal to a2. Epsilon y dv by dy. What is dv by dy here? You see, your basic good thing about this recording is that sequence is recorded. So, even if something is there beforehand which has gone out of the display, can be brought back. So, this is dv by dy, dv by dy is a6, a6 also is a constant. And third one is gamma xy. So, du by dy plus dv by, so dv by dy, sorry, du by dy is from here, if you see du by dy is a3 and dv by dx is a5. So, a3 plus a5, it is a3 plus a5. So, these are the independent strain. It so happens that in a plane stress problem, you also have one more strain, but that is dependent. What is the other strain? Plane stress, you have, this one is present, this one is present, but it can be found out in terms of these. This is not independent. So, this is a dependent component. Epsilon z will be there, sigma z is 0, everywhere sigma z is 0 for plane stress, sigma z will be 0, but then epsilon z will be present. So, epsilon z will be equal to how much? Epsilon z will be equal to 1 by E, for example, it is sigma z minus nu sigma x minus nu sigma y. This is equal to 0. So, therefore, it is equal to minus nu by E sigma x plus sigma y, and sigma x plus sigma y can be found out from the, we have seen sigma x plus sigma y. So, this can be found out once you have found out sigma x sigma y. So, this is a dependent, So, you do not have to consider this as independent. So, this will be simple substitution. You just basic strains that are need to be considered are these three strains. This strain is dependent, because this can be expressed in terms of epsilon x, epsilon y. This can also be expressed in terms of epsilon x and epsilon y. Both can be expressed only in terms of epsilon x and epsilon y. So, this is a dependent component and it is not something new. But basic thing that I want to tell you, that we have got that strain field in this triangle is constant. So, strain field in triangle, three noded triangular element is constant. What do you mean by constant? That means, in the entire triangle, three noded, everywhere strains will be same. Normally it should not, but it all depends upon your assumption. We have assumed a linear function. So, because of that, we are getting constant strain field. Constant strain field will also give you constant stress field. Stresses within the element will also be constant. So, this element is called, that is the reason this is the simplest element. It is very, the entire strain field is constant. It is called constant strain triangle. This element is called, it is named CST, CST, Chhatrapati Shivaji terminus. Okay. CST is constant strain triangle, CST element. So, it is a CST element. This is a very famous element and it is a simple element, because the strain field is constant. But can it, that means what will happen? You have this domain 2 dimensional, you have this domain divided into number of triangles. Let us say you have such big, you have divided this into 8 triangles, this 4 rectangle and then divided again into, so 8 triangle. Now, 8 triangle means over this complete strain will be constant, therefore, stress will also be constant. When you go to the next element, yes, it may not, it is constant, but it could have a different value. So, that means at the interface there will be sudden jump, complete jump. At all the boundaries, wherever the triangles are meeting, there will be, one will be strain will be here, next one it will be like this, jump. Can you have jump in real physical situation? Suddenly at the interface, at the boundary of every element, at the wherever they are joined together between the nodes, you have sudden jump. Obviously no. In any body, strain varies, it varies from point to point, and it is a continuous function. It is not a discrete function, that between this value, then this. No, it is a continuous function. It should continuously distribution. So, what should we do?
Displacement should be same. Displacement along the x should be same for both the elements.
That is same, by the way, because nodal points are having common. See, this is a 2, any edge will have a, this is one triangle and there is another triangle here. Sorry, I should put it here in the field. So, there is a, let me show this one by, yes, this is 2 triangle, this is a common edge, this is node. So, in this one there will be some strain, in this one there will be another strain. So, at this suddenly there will find jump, one step jump. Now, this is not practically possible. So, this is the difficulty with this simple element, that you will have jump. See, displacement, as far as these nodes are, listen, these displacements have to be same, because they are the same nodes. So, for this element, these common nodes will have the same displacement. Now, between this, along this edge, it varies only linearly. Between two nodes, you can have only a linear function, and whatever I have assumed also for the element, it is linear. Therefore, there is a complete joining, there is no mismatch. Displacements are continuous along every edge. Displacements are continuous, but when it comes to strains, they are jumping. So, you will get, so if you have a very crude mesh means large size elements, you will find strains will jumping, So, you will have to pass some smooth curve. You cannot take this jump. So, from left hand side of this and from right hand side of this, you make a join by a smooth curve, because at this junction it cannot be jump, there cannot be a sudden jump. Or the other alternative is refine your mesh. Make the elements as small as possible. So, make this element very small. Triangle should be made into a smaller triangle. These triangles, you make it further small. Join like this, another triangle. Join like this, another triangle. So that the area under which these are jumping, that gets reduced, and then you can get a better distribution. So, this element, and then there is also, see, as the element size is reduced, what is most important in this? There are many concepts in this element one can learn. As element size is reduced, you will approach a point. At a point, strain stress has to become constant. So, that means this element satisfies that condition. In the limit, as delta of the triangle reduces to 0, stress and strain is becoming constant. So, this is one of the conditions for convergence criteria. Your solutions will converge in the limit as area reduces to 0, as volume reduces to 0, as length reduces to 0, provided you get your strain field constant, because in the limit your strain field must become constant. So, constant strain field must be represented by any element that you develop. That is most important. There must be a constant strain field present in every element, that because in the limit as area reduces, volume reduces, length reduces, strain field must get reduced to constant. Must ultimately it will, asymptotically come, and it should become constant. So, for convergence of the finite element results, this is a important consideration. So, that must be kept in mind. Okay. Then, so CST element is extremely important, and what is most important is, because it becomes constant, so you get many simplifications. Now, I do not want to show it constant by this formula. We can show it, because I have to expand this n. I have already given you the, n function is like this. So, it is quite complex. So, it becomes little difficult to explain, but still you will get constant. dN by dx will be constant, dV by dy will be constant, even from this, because after all this has been derived from the same basic relations. So, now what is the consequence of this constant field? Now, what is the stress field at any point in a constant? So, we are discussing plane stress. So, B matrix, that means I have got my B matrix. Therefore, your epsilon x, epsilon y, epsilon z is already there here. So, this is equal to strain is constant. Yes, and that only shows that, and we have also derived our, I think last time I had derived your L matrix. L matrix I have derived already, L operative matrix from this, from the same derivative. What are the L matrix? If you write down like this, then L matrix looks like what? L is nothing but operator matrix, yes. So, L into n is your B matrix, L into n is your B matrix. So, you will find that B matrix will be a constant matrix here for this. So, ultimately I do not want to, I am just skipping some results. So, ultimately because L matrix is already defined, L matrix, what was the L matrix by the way? But then the L came from du by, from this definition, na? U and V. So, from these three relations L will come in terms of U and V, in terms of U and V. So, this one L is 3 del upon del x, 0 del upon del y, and then here it is del by del y, del by del x. This is your L matrix, L, and we also have our N matrix. Just now we saw N matrix. So, B is given by L into N. So, L multiplied by N, and N is, I think we have written here, N is something like, so this is what is the size of this? This is 3 by 2, 3 rows 2 columns. L is 3 rows 2 column and N is 2 rows so it is 2 by 6. So, finally, you will get 3 by 6. And this will be a constant. I have already shown that since strain is constant, B matrix has to be constant. There is no other, but it is a long way to show this. If I show it like this, your B matrix will be independent of x and y, constant, independent of x and y in this. You can derive this, you can check it. I have since we have shown that strain is constant, therefore, B matrix has to be constant, because after all strain is given by B times D. Strain is given by B times D. So, this one is 3 by 6 and this one is by 6 by 1. So, you get 3 by 1, strain will be 3 by 1. Yes, this one is 3 by 1. So, matrix multiplication is right. So, B matrix is constant. Now, once B matrix is constant, we get lot of simplification, and that is the beauty of this element. You get complete, since B is constant. So, your K of the element, triangular element, is volume B transpose E B dV, and in this case dV will be equal to area of the triangle multiplied by the thickness. Thickness, let us call the thickness to be equal to h. So, h will be constant of the entire triangle, and therefore, this can be evaluated by over area multiplied by area is H is constant. So, B transpose E B dA. E matrix we have already described. E matrix for this problem, for plane stress, we all know 3 by 3, 3 by 3. Can we not? Now, this is constant, this is constant, this is constant. Only area is. So, integrate over area. So, what do you get? So, this comes out of the integral sign. In fact, you do not have to integrate anything. So, you get here simply B transpose, it comes out of the integral sign E B times H into area. What is area is? Del, na? Area of the triangle. Area of the triangle is delta, na?
Yes.
Delta is area of the triangle. So, into delta. Because integral of the area triangle delta. So, this is, so you do not have to do any integration, complete integration free, no analytical integration, no numerical integration. So, there is no problem. So, that is why it is simplex, the name comes simplex. Okay. I think what about F? Load vector. Load vector, as you know, we have done so much of finite element now. So, it is the same thing given by, if there is some distributed load, then it is given by this general expression. This is a general expression, nodal n transpose P dV. But n transpose is not constant, n is not constant, it is a function of x and y. N, every n is a linear function in 2 dimensions, x and y. So, it will have terms of x and y, but y, see, it will not have x and y, x 1, yes. See, there is no term x into y, you know, it is a, if you see our Pascal triangle, for this element, Pascal triangle, it contains 1 x and y. X y, the moment x y means it is a quadratic. So, it is not included in triangle. So, the beauty of this is derivative with respect to x will give me coefficient of this, derivative with respect to y will just give you this. So, you get only one, that coefficient, which is a constant. So, n matrix will be a linear function. N, there is no alternative, n will be a linear function. So, you have to integrate this. There is even if p is constant, you will have to integrate. So, it will be dV equal to A, or it will be n transpose thickness multiplied by over area n transpose P over area into dA. If the load is distributed over the triangle. So, this will transform the distributed load that is acting on the triangle into nodal load. This will give you 6 nodal loads, and you will have to do integration. Integration of a linear function over triangle. How many people know how to do integration over triangle? Integration over rectangle is easy, triangle is not very easy. Any function, what is the alternative? How do you, any function, because this is any function multiplied by this, some function of x and y integrated over triangle 1, 2, 3. Double integral, yes, double integral, but then how do you do over a triangle integration? See, they are x and y, if you take a small area here, it is not easy because this line is inclined, this line is inclined. So, this dx dy limits, fixing the limits is not that easy here. Make it into two parts, two right angle triangle.
So one edge is now fixed.
Hmm.
So now we take one.
Yes, yes. If you, so that means some transformation will be needed. This one, if you transform this into this kind of, so that one is, so you can go from limits from this bottom to this equation of this line, inclined line 1, and other one is moving from this to this. One limit will be from here to here, other limit will be from here to this. The equation of the line, this inclined line, yes. Right angle, if the triangle becomes a right angle triangle somehow, but in a real situation, you cannot put triangle to be right angle. Yes, for your textbook problem, yes, I can divide my, I can put my points in such a way that discretization is like that, but it will not happen in the a general. Where are the pens? It will not happen. So, if it is a rectangular R square, yes, two triangle, yes, two are right angle. Then if I divide this into now 4 elements, no, not possible, just 4 elements like this. I can have discretization like this. Yes, here it is this pattern. So, I can have 4 elements like this also. I think this ink is almost over here. But it is, we are talking only of rectangular domain, something like this. But in general, you are not going to get a rectangular domain. Your elements will be, it is difficult. But yes, if you can transform into right angle triangle, then integration is easier. Then you can have this strip, and that can be varied from here to here between this limit. But otherwise not. So, triangular element is not easy to integrate over. So, I think you must have been told about, there is something called area coordinates. Have you heard about area coordinates? No? All dual degree boys? Christjig, you have not been, area coordinates never occurred? Area? No? Okay. So, for triangles, we must learn what is called area coordinates. Then the integration becomes simpler. So, we will take it up next time, this area coordinates for integration, analytical integration over triangular domains. Okay, thank you.